Hey, happy Friday morning, Black Oak family. Ryan Ledden, president of Black Oak Asset Management, coming to you with another edition of Breakfast with Black Oak. Welcome all clients. Again, this video only goes out to clients, and you may work with any one of our advisors on our team, whether it's myself, whether it's Parnick, Nick, Damon, or Autumn. We want to welcome everyone. Again, we're all on the same team here. And obviously we have Andrea, who helps out, who a lot of you already know. But again, that's our team here. So we want to welcome everyone and we'd like to get these videos out just as informational, some things. I got some actually pretty good responses on, was it last week or the week before? My weeks are running together because it's May and you know how May gets. About tip fatigue. I had a lot of people, and now I chuckle every time I go to a place. Me and my son went to Planet Smoothie last night, and there was a tip suggestion, and I just kind of chuckle, like you're making a smoothie that takes a minute and a half. Like that's kind of your job. So I'm not against tipping. I like to tip people when the time is right, but making a smoothie, I'm not gonna tip you 20% for making a smoothie. It's just not what I do. Maybe call me a curmudgeon, but I think that's just your job to do. That's why you're there. But obviously, they get an hourly salary, and it's very different than a server at a restaurant who gets hardly nothing. Anyways, I digress. So the title of this week says another raise in retirement. So I read an article this morning about Social Security, which is a big component of people's retirement income. Some people, the percentage of what Social Security is for their income varies in a lot of degrees. If you look at the average person, the Social Security income is a huge, large portion of your retirement income. That's not the majority of who we're working with. We're working with people who have assets and they have pensions and they have Social Security. So when you combine that all together, it's a smaller percentage. It's still important though. But they're looking at projections for Social Security for next year. You get another raise. It looks like they're guessing between 3.1 and 3.6% for next year, which obviously the last few years have been pretty significant. So that continues for people who are in retirement, but that also includes myself, you out there who are not collecting Social Security. That all kind of bumps into your projections for Social Security, even though I'm not receiving it, but you'll see my Social Security projections bump up. And I cannot advocate enough. If you have never logged into ssa.gov, please do so. It gives you an idea of what your projections are going to be. Again, we're not having a discussion on this, what's the stability of Social Security. There's a lot of questions with Social Security. It's going to be there, and in what capacity, then we'll make adjustments there. But you need to have an idea of what that Social Security benefit is going to be. So for retirees, again, they're looking at around, most people or most experts out there are projecting around 3.2%. Inflation data, inflation just hasn't gone away. That's why you haven't seen interest rates cut. So if inflation data is still relatively high, which the data came out the other day and it's crept down or slowed, you could say. So that helps, and you see the market uptick on that. So that's helped a little bit, but it's still higher. So you're going to see these cost of living raises because the calculation that the Social Security Administration uses, I can't even remember the acronym. It's not CPI. It's not the Consumer Price Index. It's something else. It's a weird title. But that's what they use. And housing and energy prices and food prices are the major drivers of inflation still remaining high. So that's why people are trying to buy homes despite interest rates being so high, because rents are crazy high through the roof. So it's tough to find places for younger folks who are who are renting, because they rent a lot, but also housing prices are still really, really high and interest rates are high. So it's a dilemma. It's a weird, I would not want to be in my early 20s just starting out trying to find something like that. But I digress. I'm going back to Social Security. So again, we'll know in October, but we're looking at another raise for retirees. But that we will know in October. So stay tuned on that. But it looks like that it's going to increase. for next year again. Again, want to give you guys a heads up. I don't know if you guys are following us on social media, but we've been putting a lot of new content out there. We've hired a new marketing firm and they've helped us out a lot with that. But we're trying to do a theme like each month, and this month is more on in the long-term care space. But that long-term care space is going to carry over into June because it is just I deal with it more and more and more on a daily basis. So that's going to continue to be a very important thing. So I am going to do probably 2 different educational webinars for you. Again, it's going to be an interview with a person that I still can't release that name yet, that who helps people out with finding loved ones' homes or care facilities, whatever, because there's varying degrees on that. But then I'm going to come with a webinar that's educational on how do we, and when I say we, people who want to try to combat what those costs are going to be down the road. And I'm not necessarily saying long-term care insurance. That is one avenue, but it is a smaller and narrower avenue as we get as insurance companies are coming off the shelf, if you will, of not offering long-term care insurance. So there's other types of insurances out there that I want to educate you on that I feel like is underutilized just in the general public, but I need to do a better job and we need to do a better job of presenting that to you. And if you don't want to do these strategies, that's okay. But from even a liability standpoint, I need to introduce these topics to you so that you know about them and go, oh, I didn't really know that was even an option. So that's going to be coming soon. So stay tuned for that. We got to put all that content together because it's a lot of information. But again, try to follow us on LinkedIn, whether it's my personal page or the Black Oak page. Some of you are part of our Facebook group. Please join the Facebook group. It'll ask you a couple questions. Are you a client of Black Oak? And then who's your advisor? You got to answer those questions or it'll deny you. So you need to make sure you answer those questions. But anyway, everyone have a great super weekend and we will talk again next week before Memorial Day weekend. Be good.